Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. But this time we're going to do something a little different. No comic books involved at all. But what I'm wanting to start off with are these. I told you before, a friend had sent me some a package of comic fanzines, and I did an episode on those. With them, I got still some more stuff I want to do later. But with those were these some trading cards. These are from Kitchen Sink Press. They weren't sold as cards. They were giveaway advertisements for some of their publications. And these are from 1988, and they would usually be on the checkout stand, and you could at the comic shops, and you could get some. And I already have some of these someplace, but my friend sent me this bunch here. I thought I would go through these and show them to you. Now this one is Omaha the Cat Dancer. This is anthropomorphic, and it's adult anthropomorphic strippers. And who was this by? Does it say? Just say adults only. Kate Worley. Kate Worley. And this is Melody. This was a Canadian series. From what I understand, originally it was done in French. It was French Canadian. Then they had to translate it. It was by Sylvie Rancourt and Jacques Boivin. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this was, from what I understand, supposed to be based on the real life of our main character and writer, her life as a stripper. And Melody was her stage name. And here we have actually two of this one. This is from Mark Schultz from Xenozoic Tales, which is probably better known anymore as from its alternate title of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. And we have Blab. It's wild, it's weird, it's Blab. And I don't think I ever got any of those, so I don't know anything about that. Then there's Goodman Beaver, which is reprinting the Goodman Beaver stuff that Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder had produced, and in the 60s for Help magazine. And then we have Death Rattle, science fiction and horror. Death Rattle. I don't think I ever got any of those. I should like to now. And then there's the Steve Rude sketchbook, which I don't have, but would be very, very nifty. This is Steve Rude, the Rude Dude. And we have Kings in Disguise, which was a miniseries. This is one of the covers. And this happened to be done by Harvey Kurtzman. And this was a series about a 12-year-old boy in the Depression, trying to find his father, who had gone off to find work. And here we have Milton Caniff's Steve Kenyon. Because I have some Steve Kenyon. They reprinted a lot of this Milton Caniff stuff. Steve Kenyon. And that's cool. It's probably not the best illustrations to have used. I love Steve Kenyon. Then Twist, Thrills, Halco's. I don't know anything about that other than it's supposed to be humor, and that's covered by Drew Friedman. He did a lot of those things. Then they had also reproduced. I forgot the name. Yeah, Al Cap's Lil Abner. of course, the classic comic strip, Little Abner, which had movies and stage plays based on it. Frank Frazetta ghosted on that strip for a while. And it's about hillbillies. And here's another Milton Caniff, but this is for Mail Call. I did a whole episode on Mail Call, but it wasn't but mine was the original collection from the 40s. And this is for advertising their collection in 88. And there's Megaton Man by Don Simpson. I love Megaton Man. And The Spirit by Will Eisner. I love The Spirit. Another Little Abner. That's a great one right there. And then we finish this up with Howard Cruise's Dancing Naked with the Angels. And I got that somewhere, if I still have it. And that's all of this part. Then we have here, okay, you've seen, if you've watched my my channel for any length of time, you have seen my drawings, my little drawing cards here that I do here, which is 5-inch by 8-inch cardstock. See the ones I've got here, and done them for several years, and I use them as backdrop in some of my videos. Now this is, and the various characters, some of them are original, like these two are original characters. The others are not. With a very rare exception, I do them all original drawing, except like here, this was a figure based on Wayne Boring drawing, but I'd made it pure heart, and I use different media, like here a colored pencil, which is the most time consuming because it takes longer to use. Then here and here you see I also do watercolor. I like watercolor, and it's actually usually not as time consuming as the as colored pencil, and it gets some really nice effects. And then of course there are markers like this one over here, and I like to use all of them. Use all the media, these media. And this is the least time consuming, unless I do background like that. That makes it more, because you can get some nice effects with the. So this time, okay, what I do is I take sometimes just for fun. I'm old fashioned. I like handwritten letters, and when I write my letters to my friend, I like to throw in some drawings. Some of them are my original drawings, and some of them are stuff I have taken what. I have some paper because it's easier to fold up and doesn't damage it. Fold up and put it in the envelope, which is 8.5 by 5.5, just half of a regular sheet of paper. And sometimes I do what I'm going to do today is do a drawing and try to, because just for save time and stuff, it's going to be one. My wife has a whole bunch of anime sets that she inherited when a friend passed away, and I go through them sometimes, and I like to find pictures that I would like to draw. And this is to, it's basically an exercise learning, keying my eye and my hand to work in this different stylization. And I sometimes get, like, from the covers or other anime artwork, and draw one of the characters. So I thought I would do this one. Just copy it. I don't normally usually copy, but sometimes for these I do, just because they're quicker and easier to do. And it's sometimes Tweeny Witches, which is a series about tween witches. They're like 10, 11, 12 years old, and they are witches. But I thought I would do that one. There, and you see, I don't normally put my paper on a clipboard, but I do if I'm going to do this, just to it's more easily holds it in place. So I'll start here. I always start with with the head when I do a figure, because it really helps me. Just gonna make her a little bigger head. Get the proportions and the rest of the body motion going here. And I start with a light and brief gesture drawing. And of course, and gestures are just that. It's quick and intended to help with proportions. And the action, the movement of the figure, etc. And I don't try to be perfect when I'm doing this either. But as I said, it really helps train your hand and your eye to do stuff that you're otherwise unfamiliar with doing. I'll start here. Yep. Eyes, eyebrows, little bits of eyebrow there. Now make her head just a little bit wider there. She's got an ear peeking out there. Eyeballs. She's got golden eyes here. And like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. And I'm just doing the figure. I'm not doing that background stuff. Okay, and I see I've jumped ahead a little bit here. Just to save time. And as I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. But it's fun doing some of this. Little skirts underneath her witchy outfit. Let's see. And as you can see, I kind of got my initial proportions off a bit. That's fine. I can correct for it here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Knobby knees. Well, she's supposed to be a little girl, so she's going to have knobby knees. Then we got the broomstick there. Doesn't matter. Okay. There. And when I do my inking, I often use brush markers. It's what I usually like. I really like using those with the variety of line, and using pens for the finer details, like in the face and stuff. But for this, sometimes for this stuff, I like to just use the pen. This is a Faber-Castell. It's a 0.3 millimeter. This gives you a pretty fine line. And with this, and I do like to do this real quickly and loosely. Gives you a nice loose and quick look and feel. With it, which is good with these kind of characters. Yeah. Hey. And I'll just do some of this quickly, and then we'll skip to the coloring part. See this. And I don't always do it that quickly, but yeah. And there, you can see I finished the inking. It's very quick and dirty. When I'm doing my own drawings, I usually do not quite so quickly and stuff. Now it's time for the erasing. Okay, and it's all been erased. The pencil lines have been erased. It's just the ink lines. Now we're going to add some colors off. Use various colored markers. Here's a pack of 28 illustration marker set, which I often use. I'm not going to use these. I might do some touch-ups with that one, but then I use this one. The last time I did a drawing, I use these two, and I do these often for these kind of drawings instead of my regular ones. I usually use for my backup, the ones on my set. I usually use these plus another set. I don't do these because it's quicker and easier. Not as many colors, but it's good for fun. And now when I'm doing the coloring, I'm not going to be slavish to at all to the original colors. I'm not even going to use the proper colors from the illustration. Oh, there we go. I didn't get the button pushed. So as I was saying with it, is I'm using this for her flesh tones. This is kind of a peach colored color marker, which is good for Caucasian or even Asian flesh tones. And this one is, I must not have gotten the cap on tight enough on this one time, because even though it's a new set, this one is getting dried out. And this set doesn't even have a proper, I got the wrong end. And this set doesn't even have a proper brown marker. The closest is this. It's just kind of a reddish one. Try to go quickly, but trying to not as precise as I would usually do. But I'm going for. Hey, have you ever watched a movie, TV show, and the characters are sitting like at a restaurant or sitting just getting to the table and going to eat something or drink a beer or something else, whatever, usually a beer, and they're talking, and then something comes up and they have to leave, or they finish the conversation and they just get up and leave with the food and or beer untouched. My wife and I, we get really irritated when we see that. I understand why, in context of shooting the show, why it's better for continuity, and editing. But still, they didn't even touch that beer. The whole beer just sitting there, and they just leave it sitting there, or whatever it is. When in reality, most people would sit there and like at least take a big gulp, try to drink as much of it or a few bites, whatever, as much as they can, and but instead they take off. Or even I'll use this for her hair. Oh yeah, make her kind of a redhead. And they just take off and leave it sitting there. Or sometimes it's like seeing a show when the characters say, "Oh, I'm not hungry." One character makes a meal, and has it sitting on the table on the plate, and says, "No, thanks, I'm not hungry. I'll catch something later." And then they take off, and I go, "What the heck?" And then the person who prepared it picks it up and throws it in the trash. Like, what the heck? Oh, heck no! You're going to eat this eventually, so I'll put it in the fridge, and you can warm it up and eat it later. But you're going to eat it. That's maybe it's because like when I was raised, we were poor. You did not throw away good food. If you didn't eat it now, you ate it later. Yeah, my wife and I were just talking about that the other night. I thought that was, we thought that was, we stopped right because there was a scene in the show we were watching, which the guy sat there, buddy bought him a beer, they were talking, and he was sitting there, and they were sitting there, no one took a drink of anything, and then the guy said, I gotta go, and he got up and left, hadn't even touched the beer, and neither did his buddy. So, that's funny. Okay, and you can see I'm using for her dress instead of just to make it more colorful, and because I don't have a proper brown, using blue, and I used a darker blue for the outline of those flap things, so they'll still show up, because that light black, I mean fine black lines won't show up very well. And I'm really rushing this too. There, and I went back and I touched up some stuff, added some depth using some gray and some other colors, like give her a little bit of shading in the flesh tones. And then I forgot to mention that these are brush markers. It has a marker end on one side and a brush on the other, and that's really nice to work with for both the coloring work and the as well as doing any line work. There, all done. It's more abbreviated than I usually do, but this is taking way too long. So, but I do, and thank you for those who stuck with me for this. It's just kind of fun, and that's all I had to share with you this time. Doing this fun little drawing, and the cards. So, want to thank you. And please like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. This is taking way too long. And please do remember, comics are art.